Hello, and greetings, and welcome. We're going to be playing Dark Earth. This is a game I played a long time ago, and I can barely get it to run in Windows XP. But it does run in Windows XP. It just takes a little bit of pot luck for it not to crash. And there's also a patch you can download. Even with the patch and the executable, it still crashes. So we're going to make an attempt to play it. We'll be playing the role of Arkhaan, play character, protagonist, dealing struggles in a complicated story about light and darkness and all the stuff that fucks him up because of it. Here is my Guardian of Fire uniform. Sorry, excuse for a Guardian of Fire uniform. We're going to start playing, now that we look the part of a Stellesian. Alright, the first thing to consider is this game, it runs on 2 CDs. It also requires those CDs to be in the drive at all times, and it requires CD swapping. Windows XP doesn't like CD swapping. If you disable certain things like auto run and background programs, it's not as much of a problem. It won't kick you out of the game or bring the mouse cursor from the desktop into the game and make it look all ugly and everything. In Windows XP, well, it always defaults to the subtitles, even if you tell it not to and you save the game. Also, I like to do my own combat. If you don't want to do your own combat, you can hit this. That's auto combat, or take it off. You can also adjust the shadows or have them automatically adjusted to the needs of your computer. My computer is, well, it runs Windows XP and it's relatively fast. This game was made 10 years before it was. There's no reason why I can't have a maximum quality of shadows. Of course, sometimes Windows XP also can be flaky, so you don't benefit from having a nice computer. Now, as you can see, he was ugly. About as ugly as Microsoft. Let's begin. When you want to start a new game within a game you've already played, you just hit New. That way you skip the cutscenes. So you begin as a human. Well, yeah, relatively so. Okay, now this is Arkhaan, your character. You control him directly from the keyboard with these buttons, and he can also do crazy combat moves. And when he, later on, when he gets, well, sick, he can do
you're up.
Some major
like you had a rough night.
Special attacks that can totally obliterate an opponent, but also advance his poison. The word Arkhaan, to my understanding, means secret lore or secretive knowledge. It's like, there's nothing magical about this game. It's all about conduct, mundanity, mechanics sometimes, and this guy in his hellish condition. The only magic element is the poison, and it's not really magic, it's a alchemy, which does exist actually. Like some bad herb got, you know, messed him up a little bit. Okay, now we're going to try some fighting moves. Let me put my stupid tripod somewhere. Okay, now in this game, and I don't know if you can hear me, fighting is done with a keyboard. In fact, everything just about except the inventory is done with a keyboard. Go into inventory. He's got his sword already. I already picked it up. Go in his inventory. Let's say you want to disarm the guy. Well, now he's bare-armed. He fights with his hands. As a monster, you'll find that you can fight with your hands more effectively, but right now. Okay. So to begin, you start with let's start by getting him into combat mode. Let's get him in a moody mode first. Another thing you can do is you can change your mood when talking to people. That's a dark mood. Light mood. Dark mood. Okay. Now he's in aggressive mode. This is called combat mode. He doesn't talk in combat mode. It enables you to use your keyboard to control his fighting. That's a battle cry. Totally useless except when faint-hearted sun seers, you can make the sons of bitches faint. Okay. You hold down the control key. And then you use various attacks with the left, right, back, and front arrow. Actually, this is right arrow, left arrow. And different weapons give you different moves. Some of them you can parry. Sometimes you can parry an attack if you're in close combat, or you can kick if you're far away from somebody to get a reach toward them. And when you practice, and we're going to get into that, an opponent you'll be, it'll be illustrated better. Okay, now, we're going to go into light mood and talk to Kali because, well, later on we're going to really be in a lot of shit, and we don't want, you know, we don't want to get down on her about it because it won't help us later. So
I didn't want to wake you,
it'll take 5
but the first rays from the sun god are already filtering through.
Don't worry, I was only dozing.
You know, I had a funny dream. I saw the great cataclysm and our ancestors, the wanderers who built our city.
You dreamed about the founders of Sparta? That's the kind of dream real Sidar would like. Your sun-seer father really gets a kick out of history.
Now, Kelly's a scavenger, and so she accepts him anyway for his unorthodoxness. I'm not going to give away into the plot, but he's in good company. Okay, the meat is good for vitality when you take damage. We don't need to eat it right now. We'll save it for when we need the meat. Oh, wait a minute. Let's say you wanted to change your mood and talk to her. The dialogue will shift quickly, and so will her disposition toward you. There's a little symbol, like a hourglass looking thing. Now, what do I point with? Right here, these kind of things right here later will represent how poisoned you are. It'll start at the bottom with some kind of gooey stuff oozing, and it'll gradually work its way up. And it's a race against time. Right now, what you have is a meter, or a symbol that indicates what mood you're in. This is the black mood, this is the white mood, light mood, and that's the combat. Okay, now.
I'm sick of this. I'm not a god. Why should I have to get up when the great light giver does? Be a worthy guardian of fire. Serve the sun god. That's all the sun-seers ever talk about.
Arkhaan, if your father heard you say that, let me tell you something. The life of scavengers like me and old Danries isn't exactly a bed of feathers either.
Okay, now we're going to go back to light mood. This is Kali we're talking to, not some dumbass sun-seer.
It's time to leave, alright? If anyone catches us here together, we'll both be in big trouble.
I know. You're right. There's no sense playing with fire.
It's time to leave, alright?
When you get to the end of
if
the
anyone
dialogue,
catches us here together, we'll both be in big trouble.
That probably means you should.
I know.
Quit.
You're right. There's no sense playing with fire.
Okay, he's got his sword in hand, which is what he needs to do his first duty. We're going to go to the bathroom now.
That feels good.
And then we're going to do a little prayer to get into save game mode.
Sun God, hold me in your rays.
Right. And then we'll just save it. I got a bunch of saves here. I'll start with number 1 again to keep track. Basically what it was before anyway, just to show it. And then we'll put on our clothing for the day, which is based on our...
Here's my Guardian of Fire uniform.
Character class, whatever. And this uniform is of no use later on. I don't think this uniform has any protection value at all in the armor class.
Arkhaan! It's Zed! Hurry up! Get out here! The Provost Darklor summoned you! You're gonna get in big trouble if you don't get out here quick!
Oh, shut up, you rude bastard. Okay, so we can, he'll get impatient if you wait around and start milling around and start saying all this other stuff about Provost Dork and this and Provost Dork and that. And
okay, Zed's calling. I have to go.
Don't forget to give him a kiss from me.
And throw you in the river.
Without his help, we'd never have been able to see each other last night.
So.
He's not my type.
Yeah, good point.
I can't understand why all women are so crazy about Zed.
You're a little mixed up, aren't you? You're the one I'm in love with.
This is a good practice weapon, too. You won't have any other weapons until later.
Callie, be careful. Don't let anyone see you leaving.
Early
I don't
on,
want Provost Dorkin to see you. You know how strict he is about letting outsiders into the Guardians of Fire barracks.
Don't worry, Arkhaan. I'll leave just as quietly as I came.
And it's a good idea, because later you'll sure need that practice.